Hi, this is Andy Wilkinson again from Skinny Gain Muscle, bringing you another one of our question and answer Blitz sessions to get through the questions you've been sending in about your challenges and frustrations when it comes to being able to gain weight and muscle, particularly if you're skinny. So trusty computers down here again. Let's zip through some of these questions. Okay, first up we've got, biggest challenge is to eat enough calories. Saying time is a factor with my work giving me almost no time to eat, and I don't want to live off protein shakes, and instead I'd rather eat real foods. The problem is healthy food has very little calories in it, so it's very difficult to get in enough calories. Okay, yeah, sure, on the one hand you don't want to have artificial supplements, you want to stick to real foods. The complaint being that the real foods don't have enough calories in them. It's true if you're eating completely clean and sticking to just pure vegetables and fruits, it can be a real challenge to get in enough calories. However, there are some additional things you can do to make this a little bit easier for you, particularly if you don't have time for full-on sit-down meals throughout your day. One thing I'd advise is to involve some calorie-dense whole foods that include nuts. So to go and get a bunch of foods, nuts like peanuts, almonds, hazelnuts, what have you. Just have a mixed nut assortment that you can snack on throughout the day, because nuts are by nature calorie dense and they're going to increase your calorie intake throughout the day. Also, you've got avocado. There's an option there. It's another healthy fat option you've got. The more you can plan in advance when you're doing this, that's great. Also, if you don't have time to sit down for meals, another thing you can still do is to have tinned variations. Now, is it as good as the healthy fresh version or frozen version? Jury's out on that slightly. Well, one thing you can do is to have something like maybe tinned tuna, canned tuna that you can open up and put into a sandwich straight off. Another thing I'm in favour of that I like to do is to have fruit cocktail mixes, tropical fruit cocktail mixes that are very easy just to open up and eat there and then, just to up your calorie intake very quickly without having to go through the process of sitting down for a full-on meal. So there's some options for you when it comes to that. Next question, another challenge is, I think I eat so much to gain weight but it's pointless. Key thing here is consistency and actually measuring what we're doing when it comes to our calorie consumption, because we can feel like we're eating so much based on our appetite, but if we're not measuring things, we can't monitor them, improve upon them, and make those changes. So assuming you are doing that, the other thing is getting your behaviors right so your hormones are working with you. We've touched on this in some of the other videos, and it's really, really important. So if you can get those behaviors handled, which I do cover in some of the programs I have, that can really help you out to make sure that your body starts to increase weight, because it's expecting that and it's set up to deal with weight gains in a way that's in line with what you want, rather than working against you and keeping you skinny. Next one. My biggest challenge is gaining weight in general. I do think I have a fast metabolism. I'm going to need basic first grade steps because I'm tired of being looked down on and disrespected for being skinny, and I sure do hope you can help me out. I'm just about tried every solution out there and still no gain. So please help me. I'm giving all my trust to you. Well, first of all, thank you for putting your trust in me. I really want to serve you right and do you right. Clearly you're very emotionally charged, and that can be a very beneficial thing, because the more emotion we have behind a desire that we want to gain, an interest, a goal, the more likely we are to be motivated towards that. We don't tend to take action unless we have emotion that motivates us to take that action, be it towards something we want or away from something we don't want. The keys here are getting all the steps in place. However, whilst we want the motivation to keep us emotionally charged and emotionally juiced up, it's also important to realize that when we're going through this process, we also want to have that part of our minds that can be a bit like a scientist, that can look at what's working, what's not, and make adjustments. I can make recommendations to you that work very well on the whole, and then you want to use those and then monitor your progress over time to make slight adjustments. So if you have the mentality of everything being a test, everything being an experiment, then you can make adjustments, take the main principles that you learn and adapt them, and just squeeze them and just finesse them and polish them so they work best for you. We've covered a lot of these on the videos as they go out, so I can help you as much as possible. And if you want to go into greater detail, to a greater extent, on what it takes to put all these pieces together in a way that works very, very efficiently, very, very effectively, then you might want to check out the Skinny Gain Muscle 17-week program, which you can find at the blog, skinnygainmuscle.com/blog. Zoom over to the right hand side, you'll see an image where you can click on that and find out more about that. But yeah, the key here is to make sure that you're taking the right steps and putting them together effectively. Next question. I want to do this the right way. And there's so much information, and some of it is different. It conflicts with each other. So I want to get big and get a lot of muscles, but I also want to do it the right way. What I mean by that is no steroids, no hormones. I don't want to get injured, but I also want to see some quick improvements. I have a tendency to drop things if it doesn't work. Okay, so first off, yeah, if there's a lot of bombarding information that's conflicting, we don't know who to trust. Do we go with a glossy magazine? Do we go with some fanciful picture that may have been photoshopped or doctored in some way? Can we tell that? Or do we go for some information that's perhaps been created by someone who used to be skinny himself and has taken the steps? And that's what I hope to be able to share with you and get across to you, that I've been in that position of being skinny and getting more size, and I really want to share that with you. Of course, my whole approach as well is doing things in a natural and safe way. I'm not interested in steroids or hormones either. That's why I made the challenging commitment to doing things completely naturally. In actual fact, without supplements as well, just to ensure and prove that it could be done that way. So the key is, once again, putting the steps together in the right way. And of course we want to see quick results, because that's what keeps us motivated to continue, right? So it's a case of starting off on the right foot, not having lots of false starts whereby we lose motivation and give up. So you're on the right track, you're watching these videos, hopefully you're taking these tips, and as always, if you make sure you've watched those 20 free videos over at skinnygainmuscle.com, that's skinnygainmuscle.com, 20 free videos covering the 8 overview steps of how to gain weight in a healthy way if you're naturally skinny, and going into real depth in the first 3 of those steps when it comes to the nutrition side, giving you a great platform, a good foundation to continue in your efforts to gain weight successfully. Alright, almost the 7.5 minute mark, let's continue. I think my biggest challenge will be that I'm already eating maybe too much. I started working out 2 or 3 months ago, and I seem to gain no weight. It gives his height and his weight here, 175 centimeters and 60 kilograms. I think maybe I got a pretty quick metabolism. Is there anything I can do to maybe slow it down a little? Well, the reality is, as much as you might hear out there about raising metabolism, slowing metabolism, it can work incrementally. Over a lifetime though, our metabolism rate's not really going to change much more than about 14%. That's 14%. And the methods that I've been sharing, and the ones that affect your hormones, aren't so much necessarily about slowing down your metabolism, but they're about getting your hormones, the hormones that work with you for weight gain, to either increase if they're helping you to gain more size and weight, and to decrease the level of those hormones that limit your growth. So that's where I'd advise you to put your focus on, rather than looking for some magic technique that's going to lower metabolism. There's certain ideas out there which about sort of when you get cold your metabolism speeds up, so does the reverse happen, what have you. I wouldn't focus on so much of that. I'd focus more on the action steps that you can take on a daily basis to make the changes that you really want to see. And for me, what I recommend is getting your hormones playing on your side. Okay, and that's it. Okay, we've reached 9 minutes here for this 10-minute excerpt. So once again, I'm Andy Wilkinson. This is from skinnygainmuscle.com, bringing you this information to help you as much as possible in your efforts to gain weight and muscle if you're naturally skinny. Of course, there'll be more information to come, answering more of your questions. In the meantime, if you want to take that next step, if you want to get a pure system that's designed to bring all of these different factors that you'll hear about from me, about putting the system together in the most efficient and effective way to help you in your efforts to gain weight and muscle successfully, then check out the blog, skinnygainmuscle.com/blog. To the right hand side, click on the image for the Skinny Gain Muscle system, which is going to show you how to do that. I'll talk to you again soon, and I wish you the greatest success. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.